I need to just come up with something random on the spot right now. Being a chef. Okay. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about being a chef. I've never been a chef personally. Um, I know a few people that have been. I know somebody that works at McDonald's. Um, and I don't know him that good. I used to know him really good. He used to, it was like one of those friends where, um, they were sort of close to you, but now they're not really. But like you were so close, the relationship was so defined that you just have to act like it's still going, years later. Even though you don't talk to them that much, it's just like when you do, you have to really be like, friend, act like it's the same way it was. That's I don't think anybody ever experiences that except for me, but he worked at McDonald's, and he actually he climbed the ladder all the way to the like manager of that shit, right? Or like could have been the manager, but usually how it goes is the person who's been working for them like a year after you they gets the position, and you just get stuck in the same position because they find where you're good, they find where you fit in, where you work the best. And even if they're wrong about that, that's just where you get stuck. Because bro, what are you gonna beg? You can't really argue with them that much. I hear all these people saying about how the obvious things of what I just said. I worked a year longer than them. I whatever, I want it the most. And you can't always just expect things just because you want it. I've been trying to do it myself, and I've been trying to just realize, like, just because I want something more than anybody, like, okay, everyone's gonna say, the person, not everybody, but like you hear like influencers, they'll say, oh, I wanted it the most, that's why I got it and nobody else did. But sometimes you really just gotta realize, like, even if you want something more than anybody else, which you should, which every passion you have, you should want it as much as you possibly could. But it's not always gonna work like that, it's not always, not everything's gonna play in your favor. You're not always gonna have the skills and the option to even be able to be in whatever position you want. So, there's things that I've wanted in my life. I wanted to run track when I was younger, but I couldn't. There's programs for it I could have, technically. I guess I didn't want it that bad. It's not a good example. I don't think I have anything that's a good example because I never wanted anything that bad. Like, maybe I wanted to do YouTube for a while. I wanted that really bad, bro. Like, but the thing with that is like you can't get it if all you care about is the number. You can't just be sitting there refreshing your page looking for one extra view on your video. That's always something that I struggle with, is thinking that everything I upload is the best thing ever made. Nobody could top this. It's just some beautiful, but really, looking back at shit that I made, it's been damn like 4 years at this point. Some of my videos are 4 years old, and not on this channel, but other places. Like, shit's 4 years old, and it's ass. I look back at it and I said, what the fuck was I thinking? Refreshing this, am I stupid? Like, yeah, you get the occasional video that's that just like randomly blows up without an intention for it to. But that's just because it's possible to accidentally hit. There's certain, I'm not saying that it's random, it's definitely not, but there's it's just not random. There's certain key notes that you have to hit that change over time, but there's certain things you have to play, certain aspects that your video has to display in order for it to work, without a doubt. And sometimes if you just hit a bunch of random things over time, you're going to accidentally hit the right thing. This is why when I was doing YouTube, I never wanted to accidentally blow up on anything. That was my worst fear. If I was gonna have one video pop off, which I did, I've had that before. I've had videos go to like thousands of views. I had a dream last night that I just had a video with millions of views and I didn't care. Isn't that weird? But like, if a video would just pop off out of nowhere, that wouldn't satisfy me, because that's not people liking me. That's not people, even if there was people in the comments saying, oh, this is here before this blows up, here before, you know, your channel is gonna skyrocket in the future. I see the potential. I don't listen to any of that, bro, because you have two different sides of the internet, and I just got the side that's all peaceful and positive and spreading hope and joy. That doesn't mean that it's true. I don't appreciate that. I appreciate what's close to the truth. And if what I made was ass, I would have wanted to hear that type of feedback back, you know? People are getting too nice now. I used to hate that shit too. I used to hate people hating. I used to just be like, well, bro, just let them do what they want. But I guess there's a difference, you know? If somebody wants to be told, when you get feedback from people, you shouldn't be when you get hate, bro, take truth out of it. And I get it how you can take it to the third degree, to where like you are harping, you are hyper fixated, or making everything perfect. That's not gonna work out, bro. But that's how you can tell, like, when feedback is bad. You can just look, if you just get rid of the anger part and you just think, okay, if this is true, all I have to do is just fix it or just not care. It's two ways. You just try to fix it. If you can fix it, fix it. If you can't, who gives a shit? So you try it, right? So what you gotta do is take the comment and you try. If you can't tell, try fixing it for a while, right? And if you get no results, bro, nothing's changing, it's not your thing. But sometimes I guess there's things where no matter how much you if you try enough, then one day, you know, you can do, there's things that I guess I'm sort of backstepping on what I said earlier, but sometimes if you try hard enough on even something that you aren't really made to be doing, you know, there's different people who are meant to be doing different things, or rather there's things that certain people are meant to be doing because the things came after the people. But even then, if you try long enough, you can change yourself, you can succeed. If you are the most unfunny person ever, you can change yourself. You can try I'm not saying this is I didn't even accentuate about that. It's just not easy. Shit takes years, bro. Shit will probably be a waste of your time, and everyone around you will tell you it's a waste of your time. And if you're listening to what I said before, you're gonna be thinking about, okay, if this is true, let me try. What? Hold on, bro. I'm like talking myself into a circle. But you can, I just really talked myself into a big circle. Holy fuck. That's funny. But I guess what I'm getting at is that there's so many different opinions about the subject, about the matter. I'm not really saying this as advice, I'm just saying like things that I've heard. There's so many different opinions that like there is no way to really go about it that seems correct, because you can take everything people say seriously, drop the career that you thought you could do, even though you probably could, allegedly, or listen to the, like, save your own time, or pursue it because there's nothing else you could do with this life other than, like, everything is pointless, right? So just might as well pursue things that you want to do with yourself, and have enough passion for it. So there's, you know, I guess a couple different ways you could take it. But for me, I usually without too much passion, I just do random things. That's why I'll probably never succeed in one thing, but who knows, maybe one day I'll accidentally, I don't know, I still don't want that, but I would just love to feel like I could just make something, and then anybody who sees it would like it. But that doesn't really ever happen. You can spend years trying to make something that everybody would like, but you're best off trying to make something that basically pick and choose the people in the world that do like it. So literally just go for them. Try and get yourself to those people. I'm giving advice like I know anything about this, but I mean, I've watched a bunch of videos, but that's it. I've watched so many videos I've read books and shit, because I remember hearing like, oh, I remember hearing Dreams, like whatever, his like interview about how his come up story, and he said, I just read a bunch of books, and I was like, oh, so I'm just gonna read a bunch of books, and I'll just do whatever the fuck he did. But by the time someone's successful enough to where they can just tell their own story, the way they did it isn't gonna work anymore. It's patched. This shit changes, bro. The game is never the same. You always gotta play it differently. And find your own path. Right? But I just don't know, really. When I look at it that way, I just feel like there's no way to go about it. I've been struggling with a big problem with making videos where like I have no clue what to even make. If I just think about my own experience and my own interests, and I just don't know what to make, bro. I'll just sit like I am right now, and I'll just think like I'm thinking right now. I'll go in circles and come to nothing ever. And I don't know if that means there's something wrong with me here. I just feel like I can't do it. But lot of the time, I just feel very restricted in what I can do. I feel like I am limited, like there's a governor on me, you know, like an engine governor, and I just can't go to my full, I just can't go to my full speed, you know, I just can't do it. I just do it, and I just bottleneck. I just fucking poop out, and I feel so down, bro. But like, those two things usually come at the same time, you know, feeling like I can't do it and feeling like shit that I can't do it. So whatever it might be, and no matter what I do, I can't usually get rid of that feeling of like, oh, you can't do this, you just don't have it, you know. It's just not in you to be able to do that. You know, that's for other people. Like, I've always had this feeling like other people, when I see another person do something I wish I could do, it's just like natural. It just seems like natural to them. It just seems like something that's just been in, it's just, they don't even think about it, they just do it. And when I do it, it's like, I just can't get my footing right. And I'm so hyper conscious about that. And I just don't know, it just never goes away. But I watched this little interview with Brent Peterson saying, it was actually a really good piece of advice that I've always been sort of questioning with myself, is whether or not you should try and fight it. Because, I mean, he didn't really solve it for me, but it made me feel like somebody actually understands. Of all people too, right? I guess he just like studied a bunch of different random things, because he's talked about everything. He has an opinion on fucking everything that people could think about. But it's about like whether or not you should think about your problem. Whether, let's say it's like social anxiety. He said, don't try to not think about it, because if you do, then you're just gonna welcome more thoughts. But the complicated thing about that I've talked about so much in the past is, now that I'm thinking, okay, the right thing to do is to not think about it. Now I'm gonna not think about it. I'm gonna try and not think about it. It's like every time I want to take control over something that I do, it's like it suddenly becomes something I'm watching, and I can't actually do anything to change it. So if before, my thought was, okay, I really need to get this explanation out. This is such a good explanation. If I don't get this right, I'm gonna kill myself. If I'm thinking like, if I start thinking in my mind like, okay, I want to do this thing, right? Just whatever. Oh my god, fuck, bro. Like, whatever it is, right? I'm thinking like, okay, I want to do this. And then that was a choice. Then I made the choice to be able to do that. Then when I realized, okay, wait, making that choice is the wrong thing, and it leads to that thing that you want not happening, then suddenly I like step back from that choice, and I don't have it anymore, and I'm just stuck doing this thing. And now I'm on this other layer where I can choose to look at it a different way. And it's like then I can step back from the layer where I'm choosing which way to look at it, and I'm looking at, and it like fucks with everything, dude. It just fucks every layer that I step back from. There's no impact on it. And then I realize I have no fucking, maybe I never had an impact on that layer to begin with, and I'm just like gaining awareness. Who fucking knows, right? But it's like, I just feel so I still feel so attached to this layer that I can't do anything about it. I care so much. And it's still there, you know? But like, I don't know. We're all stuck with things that we can't really change.